All right, well, guys, thank you for joining us here and welcome. As he just said, Daryl was supposed to present here for you guys, and he got called out of town last minute. He actually was in Chicago meeting with Nadex, and that's going to be what we're covering tonight is Nadex binaries and the basics of binaries. I'm sure plenty of you have heard this big buzz going on out there about binaries. You know, some good, some bad. Trying to understand what they are. A lot of overseas companies are really promoting binaries, these over-the-counter, bucket shops offering these 60-second binaries and so on and so on. Nadex is actually here in the U.S., regulated, registered. We're going to kind of go through all that, give you an idea of what are binary options, what are the different companies out there offering them, what do you want to look out for, what you want to make sure you have and don't have, the goods and bads, and so on. So just real quick, just as we start off, any and every, give me just 1 second here. I'm getting one of our other guys is going to get on with us here as well to help answer some questions for you. Let's just get started with our normal disclosures here, just like we would any other presentation. Just trading futures, options, or any financial instrument involves risks, may not be suitable for every investor. Apex recommends you seek independent advice before making any decisions. Information and strategies contained herein are property of Apex Investing. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. Future and options swaps trading involves risks, which may not be, and so on. Okay, Apex Investing. Who are we and what are we? We're an organization, apexinvesting.com. We have a total of about 8,000 members. We're very focused on educating investors. That's our big focus. Traders helping traders. We have several live trade rooms. We have a huge forum. We have literally hundreds of hours of free education, free training courses on everything from stocks, bonds, FX, futures. Huge focus on Nadex and Nadex binaries. I'm going to show you where you can get some of that information and find that. We're an approved Nadex educator. We do webinars every week on Monday nights for Nadex. Some of you may have been on those webinars with us. Daryl does daily radio shows on TFNN. Most of those radio shows you see are very focused on news trades, binaries, Nadex binaries, Nadex spreads, how to use them, how to trade them. He does a lot of live trades. So as far as what we're going to cover tonight, not going to really give you a big sales pitch, not going to really give you a big special offer to purchase at the end. Mainly what we're focused on tonight is just education on binaries and Nadex binaries. I'm going to show you how to get free lifetime membership as a free member to our website that will give you access to all of the hundreds of hours of free education, videos, webinars. We have step-by-step tutorials on how to use the Nadex platform, how binaries work, different strategies and systems, and then step-by-step training courses on each of our systems. I'm also going to show you how to log on with Nadex and get a free binary demo account. They'll give you $25,000 in funny money to play with the platform, get familiar, with how their platform works, how binaries work, and so on. And just to give you a quick idea, some of this may be a little over your head here. Just to give you an idea of the different types of trades we do on binaries, I took a few screenshots today. Some of this may be a little over your head. Don't be overwhelmed by the chart here. But just a quick example from today. The binaries, we can do a lot of different things. We can trade directionally. We can trade the tops, the bottoms, the reversals. We can do range-bound trading. Here's just a trade from the day I slapped on real quick just to give you guys some good screenshots. Here on ES, at Apex, one of our directional systems, we call it the Apex system. It's the A, P, E, and X. Basically, this is alert, pivot, entry. Just let you know the reversals. For example, right here, and we're using our diagnostic tip bars here. These are not time-based bars, but right here, we had an apex all day long. It was trending down. These range bars you see here, one of the things Nadex has recently released is 20-minute binaries, okay? And these ranges are basically every 20 minutes. Very helpful for us to know when the start and finish is for a binary option. So right here at 2:40 to 3 o'clock, that's a binary option. Starts at 2:40, expires at 3 o'clock, it's 20 minutes. I got a short entry. So what I did was right here on the, I took that entry, okay? I sold the binary right here for 42. All right, as you see, it kept going down and ended up expiring in the money. I took a quick screenshot before expiration. You see, we sold it for 42, was up $39 in profit. It's almost 100% return right there, just in that 20-minute period. At the same time, I also threw one on today on NQ. Same thing here. You can see these ranges of this 20-minute range was pretty big. Got our short entry. I'm just giving you example, guys, of our particular system. I know everybody has their own directional system, reversal system. Just giving you a few examples here of what I'm going to show you tonight. You know, what we're going to teach you to do, understanding binaries, how they work, so that you can do these too, whether you want to come on and use our systems or your own. But here's another directional trade, got short entries. Sold it at 26, kept going down, 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 expired in the money. Took a quick P&L shot right before expiration, up 20 bucks. Nice return there. Like I said, with binaries, with Nadex at least, there's plenty of different trades we can do. We can do directional trading like I just showed you. We can do what's called EPC, which is expiration premium collection. What that is, if we go back to our other slide, actually, let's go up one more. Let's just say that this 20-minute range from here to here was that binary's time frame, okay? From 220 to 240. Expiration premium collection is right towards the end, right before it expires, okay? That binary is already in the money. It's already looking like it's going to keep going down. You're just getting in right at the end. You may not get in at the beginning of the 20 minutes. You may wait to the very end, and you're going in and buying or selling for a little higher of a price, but just looking to collect the premium. It's simply just a premium collection. It might be literally in the last 5 minutes of the trade. You might go in and buy a binary for 80, 85 bucks just to make 15 or 20 bucks just in the last 15 minutes. Okay, that's what we call an expiration premium collection. Butterflies, we can do butterflies, which are a range bound trade. Okay, back here again to these ranges I've been showing you. These range boxes I have here, these not only show us the start and expiration time of a binary, but this is what we call our expected range indicator. All right, and what this is a apex indicator that shows us what the expected move of that market is during that time frame, all right, based on historical. So for this 20-minute period right here, or any of these 20-minute periods, the market was not expected to go any lower than here or any higher than here. So if I've got a day that's very range bound, there's not a lot of volume, and contracts open up for this 20-minute binary, I could sell one up here saying it won't go out of that range, and I could also at the same time buy one right here. So I could put on 2 contracts at a time. I could put on a buy and a sell, and what I'm looking for is for it to expire within that range and collect premium on both sides. Okay, now guys, Nadex has weekly expirations, daily, intraday. They've recently released 20-minute expirations on the US indices and even 5-minute expirations on some Forex pairs. So these kind of opportunities are here literally around the clock. Okay, no matter which one of these strategies you're doing. One of my favorite strategies, and we did a webinar on this. Guys, give me just 1 second here. Looks like we've got Tony coming on with us. Yana, I just Skyped you there so we can get him on with us. Folks, as we're going through here, you might have a lot of questions. We're going to get pretty detailed here in a moment. Most likely, most of your questions will be answered as we keep going. If not, I'll make sure at the end to get your questions answered. But Tony is hopping on with us as well. He will be here in the question chat box. Tony works with us here at Apex, heads up all of our customer support, customer service. He's in some of our live trading rooms. He's a former floor trader and actually used to work with Nadex. So he is more than capable of answering any questions there. He's our go-to guy here with Nadex. So there he is. Tony's on. Okay, one of my favorite trades. We did a webinar Monday night with Nadex talking about strangles, okay, and how we can take advantage of markets with the Nadex binaries. For example, here, this is a couple days ago on Monday. Guys, I like showing you trades we've done today or the last couple of days. Not trying to show trades from 2 years ago on a Wednesday that happened to work out and cherry pick trades. I just want to show you we can do these all day long. So here's Monday on the NQ here. Looking at the 20-minute binaries, got our ranges in here. This right here is our expected volume indicator. Anytime this blue bar is above this dotted line, it means we've got higher than normal volume. But it wasn't really a trending day. As you see, it's kind of up and down bouncing here. Well, how can we take advantage of that? And also, why am I showing you all these different strategies? Why am I talking about trending, range bound, breakout? It's because the market is not always this, doesn't work the same every day, does it? If the market was trending like crazy every day, we'd all be rich, right? So you can't win the football game with just one play in your book. You have to have different plays, know how to use them differently, and take advantage of them. Okay. So for example, here we had a higher than normal volume day. Market's kind of bouncing up and down between these ranges. So what I did right here from the 120 expiration, so from 1 o'clock to 120, a binary opened up. And what I did was bought an out of the money, low risk binary up here and sold one down here. And as you see right here, I sold for 86, which means I had a risk of $14. And right here, I bought one for $15.50. So my total risk on this trade was about 30 bucks. Now, when you do a strangle, you're normally expecting to lose on one side, profit on the other. Basically what a strangle is hey, market's really moving up and down. There's a lot of volume. I'm just not sure which way it's going to go. So basically here, I lost on my short side. So I got into it here for 120 expiration. And as you see right here, I lost $14 here. But on this 15.50, I made $54, all in a matter of 20 minutes. Richard, you said, John, I did some of these Tuesday and Wednesday. They worked great. Was 8 and 2. The 2 losses are really close to winning. Perfect. Richard, were you on our Monday night webinar when we taught this? I'm guessing you were on with us Monday night and did this Tuesday and Wednesday. Yep, perfect. So 6 wins, 2 losses. Very nice. Very nice. So you've seen these slides before again the other day, huh, Richard? So right here, this was for the 120 expiration. Right here on the Russell, just 20 minutes later, I did the 140 expiration. Same thing. We got some bouncing going on there. I sold for 83, which is $17 risk. Bought for 25, which is $25 risk. So I lost on my long side. So I lost out on that 25 bucks, but here made $64. Okay. So I basically risked about 40 bucks and I made 60 bucks. So very much a one-to-one, if not bigger, risk reward ratio there. And guys, like I said, we'll jump into the details of this. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what we're going to cover tonight, so you know it's worth your while. Stick it out and hear this whole thing and learn and understand binaries. So right here, 140. So we had 120, we had 140. I missed the 2 o'clock expiration. I was busy, but here's 220. Did the same thing on NQ again, bouncing again, sold for 79, bought for 20, boom. Lost the 20 bucks here, but made 52 on this side. Very, very low risk, just one after the other after the other. Again, see that was 220 NQ. I also at 220 did the Russell, same thing. Bought and sold, about $25 risk on each side. Boom, up about 70 bucks on this side, just as it's ranging, okay? For 240 expiration, I hopped into all 4 indices. As you see here, US 500, bought one, sold one. About $10 risk there, $10 risk here. Russell, bought and sold one, about $9 risk each. And you see where they profit, 83, 84, 79. Very low risk trades for very high profit potential, okay? So that's just a quick idea of how you can use binaries. Wanted to just let you know that understanding how binaries work, the basis of binaries, and then let me get you a free membership to our website. You can learn how to do some of these kind of trades all day, all night. Like I said, even at nighttime, even right now, Nadex they're in demo right now, okay? And we'll get into this a little more in depth here in a minute. They're in demo right now, but they just released 5-minute binaries on several of the Forex pairs. So if you imagine some of these different strategies I just showed you that you can literally do every hour, every 20 minutes, or even every 5 minutes, okay? So lots of opportunities there. We'll get into that a little more. So, okay, basics of binaries, how they work, and some of these strategies. Let's move forward here. So what are binary options? Binary options are short-term, fast-moving contracts with just simply 2 possibilities. Upon expiration of settlement, they're either worth 0 or 100. Okay, binary is basically yes or no, 1 or 0, true or false. All right, so what you're basically saying is at expiration, this market will be above this price, yes or no, or below this price, yes or no. Okay, so it's a true or false statement. Either the event happens or it does not happen. You can hold the binary until expiration, or you can exit before expiration. So let's say you get into a binary option for $50. If it expires in the money and you were correct in your statement, it's worth 100 bucks. Or let's say you bought it at 50 bucks and it's moving up in your direction. You want to get out at 75 bucks. Just kind of scalp it, take your profit and move on. You can do that as well. Or you bought a binary for 50 bucks and it's going against you. You don't want to lose your whole 50. You can get out. All right. So you're not locked in. But the thing about binary options is they can have dramatic changes in value regardless of the market volatility. So binary options should be great in volatile markets, but they can also be traded in flat markets. Okay, and we'll talk a little more about that here. But like I've already showed you, they can be used to multiply trading opportunities. You've got expirations around the clock, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, different strategies to apply to that. Lots of opportunities there. So like I said, even if the market's not volatile, you can take advantage of binary options. You know, maybe the strategies you use to trade are simply trending strategies, which are great. That's what we all love. That's where our big money is. But we all know how many days are not trending. Okay, and binary options are a great way to take advantage of that. You know, where you can have potential for high percentage with capped returns on small investments, or potential of high probability capped returns on moderate investments. And I'll show you some examples of that here. So the benefits of trading Nadex binaries. No stop outs. You don't have to worry about being stopped out and the market coming back against you. because you have, and there's no whipsaws, you have limited defined risk. And you know that before your entry, okay? You know, if you're a futures trader and you're in a position and we have one of those flash crash days where it just shoots against you and it can just keep going, you know, quote unquote unlimited risk. With binary options, the price you get in for is your risk. And again, I'm going to show you some better examples of that. But your maximum risk is your margin. You can't lose more than your defined risk. These are a derivative of the indicative, so there's no margin calls. You're not going to, you know, have stock certificates delivered to you or commodities delivered to you if you're trading commodities. And the examples I showed you a few minutes ago of those trades, those are based on one contract. Okay, you know, when I showed you going in and risking, when I went in and risked 9, 10, 12 bucks, and you know, and on each side, and had, you know, 50, 60, $70 profits, that was one contract. You could do 1, you could do 10, you can do 100. Okay, and you can just do the math there, see how that adds up just on some of the examples I showed you a minute ago. But here's the big key. Here's really what we want to dig into. Not all binaries are created equal. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of talk out there about binaries, a lot of different binary companies overseas, you know, based in, you know, Russia or Singapore or all of these places. And there's a few things you really want to consider before going with any binary company. So we want to talk about how are Nadex binaries different from overseas binaries? What is the difference of regulation versus simple registration? Why that's important to you? And we want to talk about being able to exit before the expiration as opposed to holding them to expiration, and why that can make a difference between being profitable and not. And then just some common misconceptions and a few tips on binary. So top 10 things: deposit location, regulation. Do they give you a demo account? Are you stuck in the bonus game? How do they figure settlement? Locked versus unlocked, and risk reward. So first of all, deposit location. Some of these companies that are overseas, outside of the US, you know, most brokers will have you wire money outside of the USA. You really have no idea where you're wiring it to and if you can ever get it back. They might accept credit cards or they might accept ACH, but most of the time they want, and you know, with your bank you can dispute an ACH. With credit cards you can try to dispute that. But with wires, once it's sent, it's hard to get that back. With Nadex, your money is deposited in a USA bank account. Okay, so be careful about sending your money overseas where you have no idea where it's really going. Regulation. Is it over the counter or are they truly regulated? Now, over the counter means it's not an exchange. There's no intermediate party there. Okay, basically that broker is trading against you. Okay, they know if you're getting out of a trade or getting into a trade. They know if you're winning or losing. That's how most of these binary brokers work, and they can trade against you. They can, you know, make adjustments to their quotes, to their settlement prices, and that's not what you're really wanting to do there. That's kind of a no-win situation there. All right, with Nadex, they're a registered exchange. The exchange is between you and other traders and market makers. All right, the other side doesn't know if you're getting in or getting out. The other side doesn't know if you're winning or losing. Nadex is registered with the CFTC. They are the exchange. Nadex does not make money off of you winning or losing. They have no game in whether you're winning or losing. They simply make their money off being an exchange and charging a fee to connect a buyer and a seller. No different as your grocery store is connecting you, the buyer, to, you know, General Mills cereal. All right. All they're doing is connecting a buyer and seller, and they're making, their fee in the middle there for that. Okay. Market makers have no idea whether you're getting in and out. Nadex has no idea whether you're getting in and out. They're just to facilitate the buying and selling. All right. And that's a big difference that you want to be careful for with binary options. Demo account, very, very big. Are they giving you a free demo account? Nadex does give you a free demo account. All right. You can, and I'll show you here in a minute how you can log on and get a demo account. Nadex will give you a demo account with $25,000, plenty of money to play with. You can go in and trade the indices, the FX, the commodities, really learn to use the platform, practice some of your strategies and systems, try some of those I've showed you, try some of the ones you can learn for free at Apex, try to apply your systems to it. Really understand how to use the platform, understand how to place orders, get out of orders, how the binaries work, how the prices move, before you ever fund an account, much less put live money up to trade, okay? Which just makes sense, all right? What do they say? Experience is the most expensive teacher. So demo accounts are for. Trade in sim, trade in demo, learn it. But you do want to be careful. Some of these overseas companies will not offer you a demo account, or you have to open a live account first before you can get a demo account. And that's one of the things I would definitely tell you to be hesitant about. You don't want to send money to somebody to let you play around and trade in demo. The bonus game, another big thing to be careful for here. You'll see a lot of this out there. Send us $10,000 and we'll give you $10,000 in your account. All right, so deposit 10 grand with us. We'll give you a matching 100% bonus of 10 grand. So now you have $20,000. Folks, you ever heard the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, probably is. Come on, what's the reality of that? Who's really going to give you 10,000 in matching funds if you give them 10,000? Well, probably somebody that never really expects to ever give you back, or for you to ever win off of your first 10,000. But here's the catcher, and this is not very clear. It's in the fine print that if you lose 10, so now you have a $20,000 account. But if you lose 10,000 and you've not quote unquote earned your subtracted from your original deposit balance, so you lost 10K, they gave you 10K, they take that out of your 10K, and now you have zero. Okay. Or again, reading the fine print is you have to earn the bonus. You have to trade a multiple of your deposit. For example, 15 times the amount. It'll say, well, you have to trade 15 times the amount and be profitable in order to take out any of the bonus we gave you, which means you sent them 10 grand, but you can't even touch your own 10 grand until you've built your account up to $150,000. Okay. Some places some places are giving matches of 200%, 300%. Send us 10 grand and we'll give you 20. Now you got 30. Then you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that you have to build that account up to before you can ever even withdraw, if they even let you withdraw at that time. So be careful. That is a big gimmick with these overseas companies that you want to be careful for. Okay. Locked versus unlocked binaries. What does that mean? Locked means once you enter, you have to stay in until expiration. So you'll either have the max win or the max loss. Remember earlier I mentioned, hey, if you buy a binary at 50 bucks and it's going up in your favor, you can hold it till it expires at 100, or you can get out at 75, and scalp it. But if it's going against you, maybe you want to get out at 25. But with a locked binary, you can't do that. Once you're in, you're in. You have no control over it. Nadex binaries are unlocked. You can enter after the start of trading. I mentioned earlier, you can enter in the last 5 minutes. But you can also close the trade before expiration if you want to take early profits or if you want to limit losses. That method is used by Nadex. And that's a very, very big key for managing risk. Most, you know, most of you, any other trade you're in, you always want to be able to get out of it if it's going against you. If you're trading, futures or forex or stocks, whatever, you want to be able to get out of it. Why would you lock yourself into something that you can't get out of? Okay. Settlement, very, very big deal. Um, some binary companies use the last trade price as settlement, but that can be an erroneous trade. All right, that can be a made-up trade. That can be the broker trading against you, trading at a different price. It could be a spike price. All right, news came out, whatever. With Nadex, they use the average trade price. So they basically take the last 25 trades, minus out the 5 high and 5 low. The remaining 15, they average those out to come up with a midpoint. Well, there's a midpoint on Forex. Nadex uses that method, all right? So that protects you against spikes, against erroneous trades, and so on. So definitely keep settlement in mind. The underlying instruments, it's based on stock indexes or future indices. Stock indices are not tradable, therefore they can gap more intraday. Stock indices settle earlier, whereas future indices settle at 4:15, increases your trading opportunities. Fixed strike versus price ladder. Some of these companies out there will give you basically one fixed strike. So let's say you want to go in and trade the euro dollar. They might give you one strike price and at the money only. All right, will the euro dollar be above or below this price? True or false, yes or no? You got one option. All right, but with Nadex, you have a price ladder of strikes. Okay, and what I mean by price ladder of strikes, and again, we'll dive into this a little bit more, but let's go right here. The euro dollar coming up here at 8 o'clock. All right, or let's go to 9 o'clock, just to give you a better example. You have a bunch of different strikes available from 1.2413 all the way to 1.2385. So let's say you wanted to buy, you could buy for 10 bucks, 18, 30, 44, 62, 70. You have a bunch of different options. You're not stuck with just one strike price, okay? This gives you the ability to do some of the creative strategies we talked about earlier. Buying low and selling low, hoping for a spike to get those big profits, or the butterfly range bound trading, and so on. So that is another big thing to keep in mind is, do they give you one option or do they give you several options with a price ladder that you can choose from to make your strategy or system work? And that's what I'm talking about here, directional. They'll only give you a yes or no on that one strike, as to where Nadex will allow you to be multi-directional. Okay, you can be bullish, you can be bearish, you can be neutral, you can do straddles, you can tear into them, just like we were talking about. Tear into it means, let's say it's going in your direction and you want to buy, and you buy that binary and it's still going in your direction, you want to buy the next binary up and the next one up, you can keep layering in. It gives you a lot more options there. Okay, and risk reward. Here's the big deal. You want to have a risk reward ratio at least 1-to-1 or greater. Okay, your probability should be proportionate to your reward. So if your probability is 50-50, then your risk reward should be at least 50-50. Okay, now if a payout is not simply return on investment, but it's return on risk. For example, a 70% payout is not as good as it sounds. You'll hear that in some of these sales pitches from some binary companies of up to a 70% payout, which sounds good, but that's also saying the most you could make on a $100 risk is $70. As opposed to with Nadex, you could buy for $5 and it expires at 100 and you made 95. Some of the examples I showed you earlier, bought for 9 or 10 bucks, expired at 100, made 90 bucks. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about risk reward here. They'll also talk about payouts of 70%. They'll talk about no fees or no bid-ask spread. Well, I'm sorry, but if I can only make, if I can risk 100, the most I can make is 70. How is that not a huge bid-ask spread? If I can go with Nadex and buy for 10 bucks and it expired 100 and I make 90, but the most I can make on a payout with you is 70%, that is a bid-ask spread. You might want to just define it as, oh, that's how our system works, but that is a fee. That is a bid-ask spread. That's a huge bid-ask spread, okay? You also want to make sure that you want to make sure that whatever binary company you go with has liquidity and they've got good market makers. If you get into a contract, you want to be able to get out of it. All right. You don't want to go with a company that has one or two contracts. So when you buy in, you're stuck. There's no way out. You want to make sure you've got liquidity there. Um, just some quick examples here, and this may be a little confusing, but I want to just set this idea in your mind so you understand about the difference of profitability and probability. Okay, so let's just say there were 100 trades and you had a 50% winning rate. So the payout would be 50, your risk would be 50. So if you did 100 trades, 50-50, you only won half of them, you're zero, you're even. All right, but if you have a 50% winning rate and $50 risk reward, just 1% difference, just winning one more of those trades puts you positive. All right, but now have a 50-50 probability, but only a $45 reward and a $55 risk. Well, even winning half the time, you're down 500 bucks. Winning more than half the time, you're break even. Okay, so basically you're spending a lot of time trading and ended up down or nowhere. Okay, now let's look at some of the examples I told you about earlier. The most you can make on a trade is 70 bucks by risking 100, and you've only got a 50-50 rate, you're down 1,500 bucks. All right, you get up to about a 60% winning rate, now then you're at 30 bucks. Okay, here the same thing. If that goes up to 75 bucks, you're down 1250, you're up 150. Putting it back down here to 70, changing these percentages around. What I'm getting to is this. Remember the trades we talked about earlier that are very low risk? Well, those are low risk trades that can be highly profitable, but they might not be highly probable. When you buy a cheap out of the money binary, you don't always have a very high probability, but you also don't have to. And I'm not promoting this as the end all of all system. We do a lot of in the money, at the money, out of the money, very, different strategies here. I'm just trying to make a point to you that if you have a $95 payout and only a $5 risk, you only have to win 5% of the time to be even. If you can get that up with a good strategy and system, winning 15% of the time, you're up $1,000 bucks, okay, with very, very low risk, okay? And again, as that goes up here, 10% of the, if you got a $90 payout on a $10 risk, you got to only win 10% of the time. So my point to this is you either want to have a high, if you have a high probability trade, okay, then you probably don't have a highly profitable trade. For example, in the money trades, buying at 80, 85 bucks, it's already in the money. You might only be making 10 or $15, but you have a very high probability of those trades winning, okay? You want to just keep your risk reward ratio in check there. You don't want to have something that only wins half the time, but when you lose 100. When you win, you only make 70. You're going to be in the hole. All right, so just keep that in check there. Okay, Nadex binaries. How do they work? How can I trade them? Basically, again, you've got a floor of 0. You got limited risk on binaries. You got a floor of 0 and you got a ceiling of 100. So the floor of 0 capture risk on long positions. If you buy a position for 50 bucks and it goes down to 0, that's all you can lose is 50 bucks. Can't keep going below the floor. All right. The ceiling of $100 caps the risk of a short position and the profit of a long position. You could do multiple contracts. Like I said earlier, they're settled at cash value of the option, no delivery of physical things such as stocks or commodities. Okay. So let's kind of break this down. If we buy one Nadex binary at 25 bucks, all right, you see here 0 to 100. If we buy it right here at 25 bucks, our maximum risk is that 25. All right, so with Nadex, whatever you buy for, that's your risk. The maximum reward is $75 because again, at expiration, it's either going to be worth 100 or it's going to be worth 0. So wherever you buy in the middle here, whatever you buy for is your risk. The difference of that to 100 is your maximum potential reward. So the amount you buy the binary for is your amount of risk. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Let's look at a little different situation here. If we buy one Nadex binary for $75, maximum risk is 75. That's what we can lose. And the reward is $25 because the max it can go to is 100. Now again, we can get out of this trade anytime. Let's say that we bought at 75 and it's moving against us and it's down here at 50, down here at 40. You can get out. You don't have to take max loss. All right? But on a long position, where you buy is your risk. Okay? Now, let's see here. Now, on a short position, it's basically the exact opposite. If we sell a Nadex binary for $75, we're not putting up $75 to sell it. We're only putting up $25 to sell it. Okay? So if we sell it at 75, our risk is 25 bucks and our reward would be 75 bucks. All right? So basically, again, 0 to 100, we're saying that the market's going to go down. So we sell at 75 bucks. That means our risk is 25, possible reward is 75. Again, if we sell a Nadex binary at 50 bucks, all right, so we've got a $50 potential loss and a $50 potential reward. Okay? So let's just look at this on a Nadex ticket. So let's say we're looking at the euro, and we're saying this contract is saying that the euro dollar will be above 1.3960. All right, so when you open a Nadex ticket, say the euro dollar to be above 1.3960 at 3 p.m. So I can buy this contract for 85, or I can sell it for 79. So if I'm buying this contract, I'm saying this statement will be true, that the euro dollar will expire above 1.3960. So if I'm correct, my max profit is $15. All right, so we can buy this for 85 bucks. Now, here's a way to look at binaries. So right here, we've got a buy and sell side, 85 and 79. So right here, 85 plus 79 is 164, divided by 2 is 82. So the midpoint between here is 82. Basically what this is saying is that the market believes, or the market makers believe, that there's an 82% chance this binary will close above 1.3960. All right, that is one way you can look at binaries. All right, when you're looking at the price of a binary, you can look at that as a percentage, as an odd of, and that is why, for example, we have what's called an at the money binary. What at the money means is, let's say this contract right here of 1.3960. let's say the euro dollar was at 1.3960 right now, like the indicative price was the same price as this contract. Well, what do you think it would be priced at? It would be priced at 50 bucks, because right now it's a 50-50 chance. The market could go up, the market could go down. It's at 50 bucks. And that's what we call at the money. All right, so it's a 50-50 chance. So let's say the market's going up and that binary's price is 7. Well, that means it's already in the money. It's already a true statement. It could go against you, but right now it's already true. Okay, so you can look at those prices as a percentage of probability. Okay, so again, you can buy this for 85. It shows right here we're buying one contract at 85. Our maximum profit 15 bucks. Maximum loss 85 bucks. Okay, so again, right here, if we buy this at 85, our risk is 85, our reward is 15. Now, what if we were to sell it instead of buy it? What if we were to sell it for 79? Okay, let's take a look at that. Then, okay, right here, it's moved a little bit. So if we sold it for 82, $82 would be our max profit. $18 would be our max loss. Okay, so it's the opposite of a buy side. All right, so again, when a binary expires, it's worth 0 or 100. When you're buying a contract, you're expecting the market to go up. When you're selling, you're expecting it to go down or to be below this said strike price on the Nadex contract ticket. Okay, so once again, we sold it here for 79. Our max profit would be, I'm sorry, here. Again, so if we bought it for 85, max profit 15, max loss 85. Okay, so any questions on that, guys? I know we covered that a little quick, and for those of you who might not be familiar with binaries, that might have been a lot. Just let us know if you have any questions on that. Also, we're going to direct you to some step-by-step training on that. What markets can I trade? Nadex, they offer stock indexes, spot forex, commodities, and economic events. As far as stock indices, we've got the in the U.S. we've got the Wall Street 30, which is the E-mini Dow, the U.S. 500, which is the E-mini S&P, U.S. Tech 100, which is the Nasdaq, small caps, which is the E-mini Russell. I do have some European markets, the FTSE 100 and the German FDAX. Asia, they do have the Nikkei at night. Commodities, we've got energy, we've got crude oil, natural gas. On metals, you got gold, silver, and copper. And agriculture, we got corn and soybeans. For spot forex, we've got Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, euro dollar, euro pound, euro yen, pound yen, pound dollar, dollar franc, dollar yen, dollar CAD. Okay, got a bunch of different ones you can trade there. Basically, between all the markets, you can pretty much trade 23 hours a day. Okay, they have markets open basically 23 hours a day. They do also do economic events, Fed funds rate, jobless claims, and non-farm payroll. All right, there are binaries on those events of what the number will or will not be. Nadex also recently came out with binaries on Bitcoin as well. Some of you might have heard of that. Okay. Mike asked, thoughts on Bitcoin binaries. Can you chart the index? They just released Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, and there's been a lot of excitement about that because, binaries are the new crazy thing out there. Bitcoin's the new crazy thing out there. Put them together. There's a lot of excitement. The only issue there is you can find charts online for Bitcoin, but if you're using like we use NinjaTrader for all of our Apex, we use NinjaTrader for all of our Apex indicators and tools. Using data with CQG or AMP or whatever, but none of those places offer data feed on Bitcoin, because it's kind of its own exchange, and you can't get the type of data you would to trade all of the other binaries. So it's like I said, it's new and exciting. It is something that we're looking into and doing some testing on some good ways to trade it. Just since we can't plot it the same way with, we plot everything else. We honestly haven't dove into it a whole lot. We plan to after the first of the year, Mike. Um, Honestly, man, it's one of those things where right now they only have weekly and daily binaries on Bitcoin anyway. Um, so, if you're a day trader, you have one shot a day with a Nadex binary because they have one daily. They don't offer the hourlies. So honestly, we've been focusing so much more on the other binaries that are already available, especially now with the stock indexes. You have binaries that expire every hour during the day. Now you have binaries expire every 20 minutes during the day. Now what they're doing with the FX pairs, you've got 5-minute binaries that'll be expiring all day and night. I mean, you just have so many options there to trade with a lot more opportunities. So yes, now Nadex does have a Bitcoin chart. They have, Nadex has a chart for every instrument they offer. Okay. But as far as getting, charts that will give you true live data that you can add, your own indicators to and use, on NinjaTrader or whatever you're using right now, that's not available through NinjaTrader. But yes, you can use the Nadex charts or online charts for Bitcoin. If you come across a great Bitcoin system there and working for you, let us know. Right now, there's just so many opportunities with all these other um, binaries. So are there going to be 5-minute binaries on indices, commodities, or just 20 minutes? Right now, we would like to have them on everything. Like I said, Daryl was in Chicago this week, the last couple of days, meeting with Nadex and talking to them about some of their plans. They're releasing kind of one thing at a time. We do hope that eventually they will give us, first of all, 5-minute binaries are just on FX. We are pushing and hoping that they will give 5-minute binaries on the indices as well, and that they'll also open up 20-minute binaries on indices. I mean, we also want them to open up more nighttime, um, instruments as well. Right now, it's a matter of liquidity. We would love to have all these different options available, and they will keep adding on markets. They will keep adding deeper contracts if we show them we can give them liquidity. Right now there's a lot of liquidity out there on the current ones they have, and like I said, there's a lot of excitement around the new Bitcoin thing, but there's so many opportunities and contracts sitting out there on the hourly and 20-minute and now the 5-minute. So the more and more that we take out these contracts and they get a lot more business, with the 5 minutes and the 20 minutes, they'll start adding on more markets. They'll add on more market makers. They'll give us more instruments, more expirations. Okay. Cam at Trading Pub, any thoughts on trading 5-minute binaries? They just came out in demo. I have been playing with them myself, and I'm personally a pretty big fan. I didn't think I would be, because I was like, man, that's just going to be too fast. But been playing around with a couple strategies and systems on them that I'm really excited about. That, like I said, they're in demo right now. The pricing that they have in demo right now should be pretty spot on to what they offer when they go live. I'm just kind of waiting to see that myself. But I've been playing with them, and I'm not going to give away any secrets yet here, But you know, there's a few. Yeah, there you go. You're a fan too. Been playing with them in demo all day long. I tell you, they're exciting and scary. And here's what I mean by that. Um, I've come across some good little systems and strategies I'm testing here that are working out great. And what's exciting about them is man, it's every 5 minutes. I mean, you're just boom, 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 you know, and uh, and you're just profitable, and it's great. But it gets so addicting, you want to keep going, and you've got to make sure that you don't get caught up in that, get caught up in that, where you just keep going and you give it all back. You know, it gets so exciting where you just keep going and keep going. You know, what's the biggest thing we always say about trading? What's the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things people complain about with trading? Is that trading is boring, you know? And trading should be boring in the sense that you're waiting for the proper setup, you're waiting for the right setup, you're not pushing a trade, you're not taking trades you shouldn't take, you're waiting for the right setup. But that can be boring. And, you know, binaries can be very fast trading and they can be very exciting, even on the hourly ones. But when you get into 5 minutes, man, it's fast and it's fun and you get addicted and want to keep going. But you got to know when to stop. You got to know, you know, when you're up for the day to stop. You got to know to wait for that thing to reverse. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. So there's some goods and bads there. It takes some, I say bads, it's just you've got to be even more disciplined and you've got to be focused on it. But yeah, Cam, you said you managed to grind out a nice profit. Same here. I'm actually really excited about those. Yep, quit when you reach your profit plan and stop, you know. And if you're trading those things directionally, you got to realize at some point they're going to turn against you, you know, in that 5 minute. Someone was asking about, does Nadex have any plans for 1 minute binaries? At this time, I have not heard anything about plans for 1 minute binaries. I do not think we will probably ever see that with Nadex. Okay. Again, just with regulations, you get to a point where, you know, it has to be something tradable, not just a random guess or gambling, if that makes sense. I don't think you'll see 1 minute binaries. I think you're going to see the 5 minute binaries be the lowest that they'll go. And, you know, there's plenty of opportunities there. So, okay, we've only got a few minutes here. Let me just run through here. We've talked about expiration times. They now have the 5 minute or 20 minutes. You know, you can trade. I kind of showed you. I'm not going to go through all these examples right here, but we've talked about how you can trade in, you know, choppy markets, trending markets. It's good for all types. You do directional straddles. Showed you some of those. Just a quick list of the different ways you could trade: vertical spreads, straddles, butterflies, condors, on and on and on. So guys, what I want to do for you here, and Yana, can you post this too, and I'll post it. What I want to do for you guys, I know we kind of went on and on here. Like I said, wasn't really trying to sell you something or promote a particular strategy or system, just letting you know there was multiple ones. Go to our website, go to apexinvesting.com. When you get there, sign up for a free membership. I'm not going to ask you for a credit card. There's no billing. There's no whatever. Just simply go to apexinvesting.com. It'll let you sign up for a free membership. It takes you just right here, join free for now. It takes you just a quick second to sign up there. Create a username and password. Let's see here. And we literally have hundreds of hours of for you. Free education on binaries, how to use binaries, how to use Nadex. That way you can kind of get it. Oh, give me a second here, guys. That way you can get an idea of how these things work. When you get on here, just a few things. Go here right to questions, our trading questions forum. This is a huge forum. It's free to access. We have it broken down S1 through 12 right here. Sanity, Stewart, It's talking about trading mentality, good risk reward, structure, study, style, strategies, systems. Go through here, guys. There's literally hundreds of hours of free webinars, free videos, teaching you how to do systems, teaching you strategies, teaching you how to do those straddles, those strangles, butterflies, news trades. Speaking of news trades, you go right here to news trading plan. We have a free news trading plan. Check it out every day. It'll it'll show you the news that's coming out for that day, and even how to trade it. Okay, you can go on here. Like for earlier today, there was, says various U.S. reports do an iron condor with Nadex spreads. We even tell you here, you're looking for an iron condor on the euro dollar, entering it this time with this expiration, profit of this. If you're not sure what an iron condor is, go right underneath it here. Video of how to trade news trades, how to trade the weekly oil report, what's an iron condor. Give it to you free, okay? Our binary, our scanners, if you go right here to the Nadex binary scanner, if you've ever been on the Nadex platform, you see you have to kind of go back and forth between all the different expiration times. Our binary scanner will pull them all up for you at once. If you want to trade the euro dollar between this time and that time, certain risk reward, you just pop it in there and it pulls them all right there for you. One's expiring in 3 minutes, 58 minutes, an hour and 58 minutes. Gives you a good overview. But real quick, another big place to start here, questions, or let me see here. Over here under education, bunch of webinars, bunch of recordings, and so on. Guys, also go to nadex.com, open a free demo account. They'll give you $25,000 of free funding money to play with. I just want to post one link here. I know we're out of time, so sorry, I'm cutting it close here. But give me 1 second. Where's that? Right here is recent recent webinars. I want to give you that link. If you guys want to watch the webinar we did just Monday night showing how to do those strangles I showed you earlier with those low risk trades, let me just get you a quick link here. You can watch all these. Here it is, most recent webinars. Those are all in there. So I'm going to pop that up right here. So again, guys, go to apexinvesting.com, sign up for a free account. You have access to all of this. You have access to us in the help desk. You have access to us on the online chat, in the forum. Happy to answer any questions for you, walk you through some of our step-by-step. If you go right here to Summary Apex Investing Courses, this is literally step-by-step training of each one of our strategies and systems. Anything we do to help you with, we're here to help. And again, go to nadex.com to open a demo account. And Yana, it looks like I'm about out of time here, huh? Raleigh and Yana?
Well, I tell you what, John, I think you've done a terrific job here. Are there some last-minute questions here we want John to address before we move to our next presenter? Now would be the good time to do that, folks.
Let me just scroll back through here and make sure we didn't miss any. I know Tony was getting some of these knocked out, and I think you did too. Let's see here. Can you close out the binaries early with Nadex, or do you need it to go to full term? Yes, Terry, you can close out early at any time, whether it's going against you and you want to get out, or whether it's going in your favor and you want to get out just to scalp. Now, like on the hourly binaries, there's what's called the 2-minute dark zone. Basically, the last 2 minutes of right before expiration, the market makers can stop quoting. Okay, so we always say if you want to exit, you can exit anytime, but get out before the last 2 minutes, because there might be other quotes there from other traders, but you might not have a deep quotes from the market makers. So you can get out at any time, whether it's going for you or against you. Make sure to get out before the last 2 minutes. Okay. Let's see here. Any other questions? I think Tony got you guys addressed there on opening accounts.
Okay, I think we're pretty good there. And John, let me just basically say thank you for doing a terrific job for stepping in for Daryl last moment here and delivering a comprehensive presentation on how to trade binary options and the clear advantage of using Nadex to do so.